Hello YouTube, this is Benny back. I'm proud to present to you guys my latest build for ScaleWorld.net. This is a video for Chip's August top 10. What you're looking at is a resin Mazda RX-2. I started with the resin body and then cleaned it all up and took a Revell Olds Cutlass Pro Stock kit and I made the chassis fit for it, and then I proceeded to add my own items here and there to get the look I wanted. I hate dust. The color is a DuPont 70 Sunfire yellow. I was looking for a Mazda yellow. This right here is more line. The color I picked is a Sunfire yellow from the 70s. It was a generic color from General Motors, and I think it was going on their Novas and Copo cars, but it was a 1970. And I seen the color in the color book, so I went with it. It looked close to the color of the color chart I had for the Mazda. My paint shop didn't have no foreign past 85, so we went with that. The flat black is just, I taped it off so it stays a matte color, and it's just to break up the solid yellow. I didn't like the solid yellow. Looking at the hood, I kept looking at the hood, and the hood kept reminding me of a 68 Camaro, so I went with this style of stripe because of the Camaro. But I shaved the blinkers off on the sides. I shaved the side emblem off. I left this little medallion on the roof. I thought I had a decal for it, and it's not there. But it's a rotary looking emblem, and I wanted to keep that on there. It was just some of them were black, some of them were chrome, and some of them were the color of the car, depending upon the baseline of the RX2s that you got. So I molded the bumpers. Glued the bumpers on, reshaped them, re-rounded them to get them to look like smooth bumpers. I got a hair in there. On the taillights, I actually chrome foiled the taillights. It had a resin molded in piece for the taillights. And what I did is, instead of using those and painting them all up and everything, I got some glass lenses, put bare metal foil the centers, and put glass ones in there. Made my own tail light filler piece. It does have a little watch part for the trunk lock. Custom license plate I made. I did focus there. I did the blinkers and the reverse lights and the tail lights. The trunk is hinged and opens. It reveals the fuel cell, the Optima battery. You can see the fuel lines running and the battery cables running. It's got plexiglass windows in it, or acetate plastic windows in it. They look like they're down in there, but they're right there. Side windows, you could see all the cushions have straps. You can see my wires running down the roll cage. The exhaust comes out the side of the passenger side, because that's where I got the turbo laid at. It slipped under the body there. There it goes. And I brought that out so the exhaust doesn't dump outside the car. On the front end, you can see I opened up the resin grill, added in some polished gemstones, added in the marker lights. The hood opens, but it opens to you this way, and I wanted to build this to where I could take the body on and off, but once the way the roll cage and chassis is set up, and then when I ran the exhaust through the body and the way the radiator and all that stuff sets down in there, I had to glue it all together. But with help from the YouTube modeling community, a bunch of guys out there helped. Chip Raymer, Pedro from Scale World, a couple others, Gene Crabtree, pointed me over to Project Director, where I can actually add still pictures. So I'll have still pictures of this at the end. In the interior, I added 2 racing bucket seats to make it a passenger car. It's got seat belts to photo etch. It's got 2 power boards, one for the ignition of the car and one for the, you know, the gauges and stuff like that. It has a lockout reverse 4-speed transmission in it. You can see I made the tack on the dash with the shift light. It has all the gauges in the dash. Under the hood, you have a Mazda RX-7 motor with the turbo, and it's running about it's a flat receiver intercooler, and then I did all the piping, the linkage, all the wiring is done. Added the master cylinder. The electric box is up underneath there, and I can't get the light in there to show you, but all the still pictures will show it. Made a blinker knob for the arm, you know, to make sure it's street legal. You can see the fire extinguisher I made is right there. It has a nice bottle in there with the nozzle to turn it off and on. I don't usually build a lot of pro street cars like this to those who are following, so I did the best I could with the knowledge that I could find online or that I'd seen when my dad used to have some race cars. But you can see that I sanded out the whole body, made it flush. Got the whole chassis to fit in there. Right here was a scattered shield in case you lose any part of the transmission or the drive shaft. It won't fling down and then catapult the car or come through the floor. You can see the exhaust actually comes off the turbo and comes back out. You can see my rack and pinion, the brake lines coming through and all there. And I chose to run this without wheelie bars. I was having problems making a wheelie bar, and I'm thinking this right here is just a great street car with a lot of power, and I don't think it'll pull a wheelie enough to where it would matter. You can see I used some aluminum tubing and some small solder to run my steering shaft. I actually added the steering shaft in there, and you can see all the brake lines running down the frame, coming back over here through the rear end and everything. This is one of the most detailed chassis I've ever done. Usually I focus on the looks of the vehicle instead of the functionality. Like I said, you know, the hood is, you know, a kind of a crazy hinged hood, but they'll go and everything stays open on their own. If I can't open that. Like I said, this build is for Scale World. It was something that Pedro over there, or most of you guys know him as Pete, but he had sent me this, wanted me to build him one. He wanted to do a classic Mazda with a modern drivetrain, and this is the way I chose to do it, is to the Pro Street look. Really enjoyed the build, really loved the build. I will get pictures up at the end of this video and let you guys be able to enjoy and see actually what all I've done from start to finish. I really hope that I get the judge's attention and I am able to get back on the top 10. I was the first one on the top 10 in the first place, and now I'm not even on the board. We got some great builders on there, and like I said last time, I forgot Shane. I didn't mean to. Shane over there at Man Cave Models. You got Chucky Monster, Butch over at Full Throttle Customs. There's just so many great builds on there right now, guys. I think the top 3 cars are pushing. I know one's at 441, I believe it is, and the rest are in the high 300s, if not 400 and something. So there's like 9 points in some, there's just 9 points difference in some of these other spots. So I'm hoping to get back up in there in the list. What do we got? We got Scott Vickers has the opportunity to give somebody some micro nitro wheels if they're the next first place person. And then Gary Ruby jumped in this week with looks like spot number 7. If you get spot number 7, looks like you're getting a free model kit. That's cool. Then we got Freddie over at H-Town Models. He is sporting a second place trophy. So we got a lot of support. We got a lot of people coming. I've seen a few cars being built for this. So let's hope everything gets out there. If you guys are interested in jumping in and doing the top 10 list with us other builders, get out there. Don't be afraid. Get out there and do it. Check out scaleworld.net. There's inspiration in everyone's builds there. Follow some of Chip's past videos. Look at some of my past videos. Go out there and look at some of the people that are commenting on our videos and start following them. There's great inspiration throughout YouTube, throughout Facebook, throughout the Instagram and community. So get out there, get your courage up, and just build and enter. Whether you place or not, I would love to see your guys' build. This right here is probably a 3-month long build. I have the access to be at the bench more than some of the other guys, and I know that, like Chip says, it takes time to learn, it takes time to complete a build, and it takes time to reach the excellence of a build, such as the first place Butch's Chevelle, and the guy's got great experience. His framework is phenomenal. His detail work is phenomenal. I just want to be back on the list. So this is my attempt at being at the list, and I just hope the best for all of you that are entering, and just have fun with it. We love this hobby and enjoy it so much, and I want to enjoy it with you guys too. So with that being said, this is Minnie. I hope you guys enjoyed the Mazda RX-2 build. I hope the guys over at scaleworld.net enjoyed the build I did for them. There's plenty more to come off the Mini Dreams bench. This is one that I'm calling done, and I had a blast with, and I hope the judges at the top 10 feel the same, and that I get enough points to get back out into the list. So with that being said, you guys have a great day. Thank you for following me. Okay, here is the body when I got it. You can see it was solid. It needed to be cleaned up. It came from Puerto Rico Resins, Alex Yemel, and I took this resin kit and I just cleaned it up, sanded down, and cleaned off the flashing, and then it had to soak for I let mine always soak for 2 days just to make sure. Like I said, I'm using a new video thing, so I hope this works out for you judges. You can see that was the way the grill came and how the body was rough and charred. The bumpers came like that. And I just put these pictures in here so you guys can see what I started with and the customizations that I did. There's the original tail light panel, as you guys know from the regular video that I changed all that. That right there would be the rear bumper. There's the front end again. You can see the molded in headlights that I removed. Here, I don't know what I'm trying to show here. It's just more flash of the bumpers, and then here are the bumpers are cleaned up. Here the body is all cleaned up after I had took all the flash off, and you can see the emblems and items that were on there that I had shaved, and you can see the rawness of the resin here. And this is me just mocking up the bumper and stuff, and you can see the pinholes and whatnot that was in the body. If I could find a way to make the pictures shorter or longer, that would help. Here I sized up the chassis. There's the chassis on the inside, and this is just me taking the Revell stuff and getting it to fit this resin body. Here I was just mocking up the wheels and tires to see the stance. And now here is starting to primer after fixing pinholes and adding the hinges and whatnot. I found some difficulty in trying to get these pictures to lay out in order, so there's a lot of stuff that's cobbled, so please excuse that, guys. Now the chassis is just a nickel that I wanted to use, and the inside of the cage and all that was just a nickel. You can see that, you know, I'm getting the stance where I wanted to. I had chrome foiled the grill and added in the headlights. Here I'm starting to detail the interior. There's some handmade gauges, a handmade tack, handmade shift light. The seat belts, I'm starting to add the photo etch. You can see parts of the 5-point harness right there. Just a look over the fender at the gauges. These pictures here were taken with the Samsung S5 phone. The video I did today and some of the finished pictures from today are from the Galaxy 7 Edge. So this will be my first video with the Edge also. And this is me detailing the motor. You can see the ignition box, master cylinder, the turbo, and just some other stuff's coming together as I'm building it. Here is the finished interior as of today. You can see I've added the exhaust, all the tie downs for the cushions. A look at all the finished gauges. The wires being ran to tack. There's the finished parts of the seat belts. You can see the handle for the NOS to turn the NOS on and off. The fire extinguisher I added photo etch to and made my own blow hose. Right here's the finished pictures of the turbo and the linkage and the blow off valves and all that for the turbo. The Optima battery and the fuel cell. Again, this is first time trying to do this voiceover and show you. There's a better picture of the scattered shield, the drive shaft, and here's pictures of the finished body before I completed it. You can see the exhaust actually comes through the fender. It's got all the windows in it. And this right here is showing the new tail light setup, new bumpers. This was a very fun build. I would love to have a chance to do this again. Now what I did with this on the foil on the inside, guys, I foiled it as if it was the heat road noise insulation that you would see on some of the old hot rods that would be at the car shows when my dad used to show his car. So I used a full sheet of bare metal foil to foil the inside, and here's just finished pictures of the whole build together. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope those who are following enjoyed this. For your judges, hope you guys find it worthy of getting me back onto the top 10 list. So with that being said, this is the rest of the time spent on this, is just showing the finished videos, finished pictures of the build itself. And this was a build for scaleworld.net. Trying to show pictures of the shine. I'll get better as I learn this. And thank you all. Thanks, Chip. Don't forget to do your best with every build. This is Minnie, and I'm done.